It is time to slow down our practice and relax. Hi, friends. I am Katie Arnold. Welcome to my channel. Welcome back to my channel. Today, we have a yin practice for you that is all about focusing on relaxing, releasing stress, and seeing if we can just let go. Props wise for our practice today, I am suggesting that you have a blanket or something that can replace a blanket. This can be really nice to have. And then I am also suggesting that you grab a strap. If you don't have a strap, that is okay. But this can be really nice to have. And then we will need some space by a wall. So we will have a legs up the wall, which is where that strap can come in. And if you don't have a wall space, you could use the front of the couch or back of the couch, something similar where we send our legs up. You could also use the front of a couch or chair where your knees will then just be bent and your shins can, or your calves can rest down on the chair. We'll get to all of that later. But for now, we are going to start in a seated posture. I am going to grab my blanket here and just sit atop the blanket. This is totally optional. I find it really nice and grounding. I like to have my hips elevated a little bit, legs can be crossed, or find a seat that just feels most supportive for you here. Hands can rest down on your knees. Maybe you want to join me with a few cleansing breaths, seeing if we can just settle into this space, settle into our practice. Each exhale breath, releasing just a little bit more of your stress, any anxiety, overwhelm, anything that you might be holding on into your body that is no longer serving you here. Beautiful. Inhale, sweep those arms out nice and wide, palms meet overhead. Exhale, hands come down through heart center. Inhale, arms reach high. Exhale, twist it over to the right. Left hand can cross to that right knee. Just a few moving and breathing. Inhale, arms reach high. Exhale, twist it over to the left. Right hand crosses. Inhale, center. Exhale, side bend over to the right. Inhale, center. Exhale to the left. Inhale, center. This time, palms face forward. Exhale, cactus those arms. Open up that chest. Take that again. Inhale, arms reach. Exhale, we twist to the right. So that whole thing again. Inhale, center. Exhale, left. Inhale through center. Exhale, side body to the right. Inhale, center. Exhale, left hand beside the left hip. Right arm reaches to the left. Inhale, center. Palms face forward. Cactus those arms. Let's do that one more time. Exhale, twist right. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist left. Inhale. Exhale, side body to the right. Inhale. Exhale, over to the left. Inhale, arms high. Exhale, cactus those arms. Inhale, reach. Exhale, hands down through heart center, and then release the hands down to the knees. We're going to have the backs of the hands down on the knees, palms facing up. Take a full breath in and a full breath out. Go ahead and close the hands here. Open the left hand, inhale, breath. Close the left hand, open the right hand, exhale. Inhale here. Close the right hand, open the left, exhale. We're going to keep moving like this. Inhale here. Switch the hands, exhale. Right hand stays open, inhale, breath. Switch, exhale. Inhale. Switch the hands, exhale. Inhale, breath. Switch, exhale. Inhale. Switch, exhale. Inhale. Switch, exhale. Can you keep this going on your own? We inhale, take that breath. Before the exhale, switch the hands. Hands stay the same as we inhale. We switch the hands and we exhale. Keep this going on your own. Take one more time. Finishing with the left hand open. Open both hands. Flip the palms down and just breathe naturally. Notice where the body's at. Notice where the mind is. Between that gentle bit of moving and breathing, and then a variation of an alternating breath. Things feel a little steadier. No judgments if they don't. Maybe you just notice. You let yourself sit in the stillness. And then gently open your eyes. We're going to grab our blanket. And I'm going to keep my blanket still folded up a couple of times. And this is just going to be a little bit of support under my knees. We're going to come into a child's pose. So knees out nice and wide, big toes towards one another. And then just start to fold yourself forward, hips over the heels. And then I'm going to give a few different options. So arms can reach forward, palms pressing down. And if you want this to just be really gentle, you might slide the hands back a little bit so the forearms can rest all the way down.
What I really want to offer up here is just a little bit more for the upper back and shoulders. So I'm going to bring the palms of my hands together and then bending at the elbows. We're going to bring the thumb to the back of the head or neck. It doesn't have to touch, but we're moving in the direction towards the back side body. And then maybe also feeling a nice stretch through the tricep. If you try any of this on and it doesn't really settle or feel great in your body today, then I want you to back out and take whatever arm variation does feel supportive. You can also keep the hands down and walk them further away from the body, lifting the forearms up. All choices as we settle in here. Of course, if this child's pose is also not super comfortable, you could take a pillow or blocks or another blanket, maybe rolled up, and bring it underneath the sit bones or between the knees or behind the knees, I should say, for just a little bit more cushioning and support there. No need to force this breath in any way. Let it be natural and effortless. Just a little bit longer. If you took the reverse prayer hands, go ahead and release the hands back down. Walk yourself back in. All right, we're going to take our blanket now, holding it up again, like how I had it from my seat, and I'm going to bring it along the wall. And we're just going to give ourselves a little bit of support as we make our way to our legs up the wall. Now, I also have this strap here, and you might choose to use it. You may decide it's not for you. That's okay. But I'm just going to prep it. And then once I get my legs up the wall, that's usually when I prefer to put my legs in the strap. And then I can just adjust the tightness once I get my legs up. So now that that's prepped, it's off to the side. The easiest way that I find to get my legs up the wall is just to get myself about as close to the wall as I can. Come down onto one side. I'm down on my left side. Scooch the booty in a little bit closer. Start to lie down and then just swing the legs up. Now, once you get there, sometimes you have to make some adjustments, get yourself a little bit closer. And Obviously, I'm using a closet for my wall space, but it still works. So then I'm going to take this strap and I'm going to bring my knees towards my chest, send my legs through the strap, and then I can tighten the strap to my desired tightness. And again, you might find you don't like it. That's okay. But the strap will just help kind of take some of the work out of this legs up the wall. So that way you can settle in a little bit more here. And then once you find the space you can be most comfortable, arms can come down by your sides or wherever feels most supported, maybe on top of the body. Your eyes can close down or just find a gentle gaze. Maybe you want a few more of those cleansing breaths. And now, if you are using a couch or a chair, as kind of mentioned earlier, you can bend your knees. Let your calves rest on the seat of the couch or chair if you're using the front of it. And that can still be nice and supportive here. You may not need the strap if that's how you're able to do the pose today, but you might still like it. Beautiful thing about our props is that they can support us in so many different ways. So often, I think people think of yoga props as just kind of the things that you don't use if you've been practicing for a long time. They're only for the beginners or someone who may not be as flexible or anything like that. And it's so not true. There's so many ways that we can use our props, that we can use straps and blocks and bolsters to further enhance and support our practices, whether we're talking a gentle practice like this one today, or if we're looking at a more fiery vinyasa class. They can all be really nice opportunities to turn to these tools and let these tools support us. I love a strap and a legs up the wall. If this is your first time trying it, maybe you're finding you do too. Take a big breath in through your nose. Let it go. Start to bring your knees into your chest. We're going to release that strap if you used it. Go ahead and set it off to the side. And to come out, we just come out the same way we came back in. Roll onto one side. Maybe even pause in a fetal posture for a moment. And gently, you don't even need to press yourself all the way up because we're just going to come into a Shavasana. I'm going to slide my blanket to be a pillow underneath my head. You might do the same, or if your space feels a little bit chilly, you could also use that blanket to cover your body. But then let yourself soften. The feet open out wide. Arms rest down by your side. Palms can face up or down, whatever feels more supportive here. Get out any wiggles or fidgets. Or finding that place you can really land in stillness. Take a big breath in through your nose. Let it go. Some small movements back to your body. Maybe roll the wrists and the ankles. You take a big good morning stretch. You can bring your knees into your chest and just take some gentle rocks side to side. Maybe take some circles with the knees. And roll onto one side to find a fetal posture. Gently press yourself up to seated. I'm choosing to sit atop my blanket again, but choice is yours of what feels best for you here.
And before we close out our practice, giving yourself another moment to just check in. How do you feel now? Especially if you came to this practice feeling really stressed or overwhelmed, how do you feel now? Hopefully, even just the slightest bit calmer and more grounded. I know I do. And I like to take this moment to just notice that for myself because it's so easy in those states of overwhelm and anxiety and stress to feel like we don't have enough time for these practices. But if we can just remind ourselves of how we even feel a little bit better after making this time for ourselves, after just a short practice, it's easier to turn to these practices when we're in that place. Because so often when we're stressed, when we're overwhelmed, we just start spinning and we don't actually get to help relieve our stressors, to help take things off our plate because we're too frantic. But when we can ground ourselves a little bit more and approach things from this place where we're in right now, we can usually find the most efficient path forward or make those tough decisions or whatever it may be. So I hope you're noticing that within yourself right now. Inhale, sweep those arms out nice and wide, palms meet overhead. Exhale, let your hands come down through heart center. Thank you so much for joining me. Om Shanti. Peace. Thank you all so much for joining me for that practice. I know that I really needed that. So I'm hoping that you found it as supportive as I did. If you're not already subscribed to my channel, please make sure you take a moment to do so. And like this video, let me know what you are needing more of in your practice these days. And if you don't have my free daily practice calendar, it helps take all of the guesswork out of your practice by giving you a suggested practice every day. So the link for that is also in the description below, as well as a link to my Quiet the Noise membership. Thank you so much for joining me. I will see you back on your mats for your next